Chickens, am I right? Welcome back to the Artisan Collective. Chickens have all known the past couple of weeks. Dang, we got a lot of babies out of that. In between episodes, I've done some work with armor stands. Quite a bit of work, actually. I think 2 of these nests in general took me maybe like an hour or so. So you can only imagine how long it took to do a lot of the other stuff around here. And I was actually going to add some out here. I just haven't decided where I'm going to put them yet. And oh my goodness, the clicking from the chickens is driving me nuts. I'm going to leave the chicken coop now, just so I can talk and not have to listen to the annoying clicking. If you know, you know. They make very loud clicking noises, and it's very, 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 very annoying. Yeah, we got the armor stands on there, and then over in the tractor, I added a little seat. And I did want to do more with this. I haven't quite figured out how I want to do the tractor seat with the armor stands yet. So for now, it's literally just a minecart and a little lever. And I am actually propping this up with snow layers so that you can peek over the window just a little bit. And then probably my favorite thing that I've done is this, the clothesline. And you know how we have the anomaly over there? I've tried to make it look like some of the wind was being pulled in that direction. So these clothes, they're nice and light. They're being drawn in towards the anomaly. They're just kind of flapping in the wind. The only thing that's holding them there, these little clips that I made out of buttons. We got a towel here that's just gonna flap it in the wind. These pants are having the time of their life. That's just hanging on. This shirt is just over here being blown away. And then I have one shirt that I've just left in the bucket down here because I thought, why not? And a little rag because, again, why not? It looks nice. I really, really, really like it. I'm so glad that I was able to get this to all work. This also took a while. I think in total with the armor stands, feel like I spent like probably an entire day on armor stands. They take a while. They do take a very, very long time. So I'm glad I was able to get them all done. But that's it. What happened in between episodes. Now, you're probably wondering what's happening in this episode. You probably saw the thumbnail, you probably saw the title, and you're going, what happened? Well, let me just tell you, friend, I finally finished designing all the chaotic factors. Not all of them, but most of them. Quite a few. And I'm really looking forward to adding them all. I think it's going to be super, super cool. Because as you know, I'm going for almost perfect society, but with a ton of corruption inside of it. And of course I can't just show that within the city or within the landscape around the city. I have to show it within the farm itself as well, because the farm is a part of this community. And so I want to put fires, I want to put a crashed truck, I want to put things that have fallen apart, things that have fallen over, a burst pipe somewhere. Like, I want to put all these little things scattered about that's gonna make this place seem like it's falling apart. Just slightly, just a little bit of falling apart, you know. It started with the anomaly and it's spread because of it. But before I can even get onto any of that, I have to get materials for that. And while I was getting materials for that, I got a little bit of a message from a little bit of someone saying that one of my shops is out of stock. And it hit me that I haven't stocked my shops since I built the rocket shop. So we really need to go over there and check how my stock is doing. I need to bring some stock with me. I need to see how my stock is doing. I need to see if I made diamonds, because, you know, it's kind of hard to buy stuff when you have like 41 diamonds here. Now I do know I have some deep slate ore in here. I don't want to quite break into it just yet. I do want to save some of it. Yeah, me being me, I kind of want to use it in a build somewhere, but I know I have to have a lot of it. So we're just going to save it. And I hope you're okay with me not breaking into some diamond ore. But let's go check our shops, because I'm getting curious. Ah! Why is there glass here? Who put glass in my tunnel? Who keeps doing this? It first appeared in Richie's tunnel. Now it's in mine. Who's putting glass in people's tunnels? Does Richie have glass again? Richie also has glass again. Who's putting glass in our tunnels? Whoever's doing this, they need to stop it. I like getting through my tunnel. I mean, I guess I could have just flown over it. Or not over it. How am I supposed to fly over it? I can't really fly over it, can I? There's a tunnel in the way. I have to fly under it. Anyway, random glass aside, let's check our shops. So I'm guessing that we probably don't have any sales in string. No, we don't. Sad. Okay, well, what about normal rockets? No. Sugarcane? Nope. Gunpowder? Who? Just who? I need someone to confess. Who did this? Because they owe me a diamond block. Or at this point, I'm taking it as an IOU. If no one confesses, I'm taking it as an IOU. Because if I eventually catch them, oh, they're gonna be in trouble. I do seriously question who put that in there, because that is definitely not a diamond block. Or blocks. 1 diamond blocks doesn't really make sense either, does it? But nope, that still I will not count as profit. Because I can't really spend that anywhere. No one's bought the tier 3 rockets. No one's bought the tier 2 rockets, but the tier 1s. Ooh, we got sales. So it looks like we made 8 sales. 8 boxes. Oh, that's pretty nice. Any up higher? No, just the 8. Wonder how many diamonds is that? Ooh, that's a nice bit of diamonds. Oh, that's so nice. Because look, now we get to add it to our chest. We're not broke. Or, well, I mean, we're still pretty broke, but it is nice, though, that we now have a little bit of a moneymaker. We can get money from it and not be broke constantly. We can actually spend money on supplies and buy the stuff we need for our projects. Now, here's the back room. This is our little secret stash where I can actually just grab stock. So there's a bunch of stock in here. We have to grab 8 boxes. And then I come over here and I grab the dye. I just re-dye all of these. That's all I do. Because these are already filled. These were some of the old stock boxes from whatever color had the shop. And so I've just been keeping them here, turning them into red boxes, and restocking them back into the shop. Because he didn't want them. He made it very clear that he didn't want them. And there we go. We're all stocked there. Except this is not all bought out. And I only own one other shop. I own the basalt shop. Now I really need to do a new interior for this place. I just don't know what I want to do yet. I'm still thinking on it, but we'll do it eventually. But I think this might be the one that's been bought out. Oh, for sure. Okay. That's a good chunk of diamonds as well. And I do not have stuff to stock it with. Ooh, but I do have an idea. I got on the other day and I saw something suspicious. I think it's in North Tunnel. This. Yeah, this is no good. I know Michael made this, but it's a basalt generator, and I need to build one of these for myself. But this can't be allowed. I mean, I sell basalt. I mean, how can you do this to me? He even knows I would know. But look, 3 boxes precariously placed with basalt. And I think this is how I'm going to restock my shop for the time being. Because you know, it is free. I can use it. There's nothing saying I can't use it. But this should allow us to stock up our shop completely again. Now I just need to devise a plan to stop Michael from ruining my business. And I think I know a way to do it. In my hands, I have both chest and hoppers. Now you may be wondering, Kiwi, what are you doing with the chest and hoppers? Why do you have chest and hoppers? Well, I thought of a way to stop him. So if I dig back here, you'll see that I dug a little bit of hole. And I placed some chests and some hoppers right underneath the original hoppers. They can't get basalt if no basalt comes out. And hopefully I'll make a profit off this basalt. I can put it back in my shop or whatever, and no one will know. All we gotta do is cover it up and just let it be. They'll never know. And so hopefully when people actually go here to mine, then instead of basalt coming through, there's nothing. Oh, it's the perfect plan. No more ruining my business. Anyway, hopefully that works out pretty well, and hopefully I make a profit out of it. But now, now, we have some stuff to do. I got glass, and I got lots of resources. All the way down here. Look at all that glass. It's even overflowing into this. And look at all these other resources. It's not as much as some previous weeks. But there's a good reason for that. It honestly doesn't matter that it's a little less than previous weeks because the size of the structure is probably just as big. This poor beet field. Oh, I feel so bad. But it's gonna have to burn. That's right. I'm setting the field on fire. And there's gonna be a truck on fire. And there's gonna be stuff on fire. Fire. Just fire. Fire everywhere. We're gonna do fire. Because I couldn't think of more destructive stuff than probably fire. Fire is the most destructive thing I can think of. Because even explosions and stuff, they involve fire. So, I think it's time. Mr. Anomaly, you want to do your thing? Get us started with a time lapse? You're not very talkative right now. Anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy some music, and let's get this chaoticness started. And just like that, we got fire. Oh my goodness, look at all this. This actually took a really long time. This fire was the reason that I've been putting off this project for a little bit. It took a lot of time to get this correct. And even then, I still might tweak some of the glass. I think there might be a possibility for more smoke, but it's looking pretty cool. And it's definitely one of those things where it's like, yeah, that thing's burning down. If this thing were actually real, none of the field would survive. I'm sure of it, but it is totally just taken over this field. It takes up quite a big portion, indeed. And look, we even got the starting of it. So basically, here's how the story goes. Obviously, whoever's taking care of this thing and trying to maintain it to keep the anomaly at bay was just trying to get one of these containers over to where it needs to go. And it fell off this little ledge here and it rolled down and it opened up as it hit the floor. So this hatch over here swung open. That caused ooze to come spilling out onto the floor. And because, you know, it's probably nuclear ooze, I probably shouldn't be standing on it. It splattered on some of the wheat and discolored it, and you got some wheat that just straight up caught on fire, which caused this. So then from the ooze, you get this little spark that, you know, fire spreads. And so as the fire spread, it just kind of hopped and skipped, and it kind of just pushed past this little gap, and then all this fire happened. So I think it's pretty cool. I have been thinking about some different things that we can integrate over in here, because now I have to figure out how I'm going to get the path down to the dock. I still want to put a dock over here, but I think it's really funny that this is just kind of spilling, and I think it looks amazing. And then of course I took the time to actually add some more stuff. So we got a bunch of these hay bales now, because obviously it's a wheat farm. There's hay bales in the wheat fields, but I had to put hay bales elsewhere as well. So we got a bunch of hay bales. This one specifically has been knocked over, blown down. A bunch of these are just kind of scattered about now. No one was ever able to stack them again, and they're not being used for anything, because like chickens don't eat wheat. They can eat the seeds, but they're not going to eat straight wheat. And so this was just over here to be stored from this field, and a little oopsie, and wheat went everywhere. In fact, I might do more little tinier clumps instead of just the big barrels of the wheat. And I might do little tiny clumps that look like they've just fallen apart, just absolutely destroyed. And as we come over here, you'll see the cows do eat wheat. So we have barrels over here purposely for them. They're in their singular form, just ready to be given to the cows. And there's even more over here. So we got these piles, nice big storage piles, just to kind of store it somewhere. Because, you know, like, there's never a little thing. And also, I don't know if you just saw it, but look at the little guy. Look at what I made. He's a little dog and he's so cute. I love him so much. I spent a little time just making him. And it was because I needed a story for here. I wanted to make a duck. I didn't know where I wanted to make the duck, but I knew I wanted to make a duck. And to explain this, basically, a truck was trying to drive down the field. It tried to turn left, saw the duck, saw that it couldn't. So instead of turning left, it swerved off. Or maybe it was coming from this direction. It came from one of these two directions, but it swerved off into the wheat field, and it tried to miss these hay bales. Otherwise, it was going to wreck into the hay bales and ruin perfectly good wheat. I'm still actually waiting on some of the wheat to regrow because, yo, let me tell you, how many times water flew down these hills? It needed to stop. This water was so annoying. And I cleared it out so many times, and it was just kept having issues with it. But of course, the truck did come over here, and you know how when trucks, or like any car really, if they turn too quickly, it'll create divots in the mud and stuff, and then it'll push up the mud. That's what I tried to recreate here. So we got a bunch of this flattened wheat. I've even tried to make it look like it's flattened into the ground with some of these hay bales, as you can see. And as we get along to this corner, he turned really sharp. So this kind of digs down into the ground, and as he kind of stabilizes again, the truck goes back on its path, and then, oops, it tries to avoid the cliff because, you know, you don't want to drive a truck or any car or any vehicle really into some water. So then he's like, oh no, I need to turn. So then he turns really sharp again. You get some of this grass being pushed up and all that. You get dug in some of the dirt. And so he still has dirt on his wheels, and then boom, he crashes into the silo. Poor truck. So of course this is on fire as well. And then, funny enough, I was actually going to make this crash into the rock, but the path is just too perfect like this. It would have felt weird if I had to make more and more curvies. So this just felt the most natural, and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It's really funny to see just this crash truck. So this guy obviously didn't have the greatest day, and it's all because of this duck. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most chaotic of them all? It's him. Oh, I love his little face. I'm so glad. And I was thinking of actually making another one. It was suggested to me by, I'm pretty sure it was either Jinx or Richie. It was one of them. We were on a call together. But it was suggested that I should make another one kind of pushing down the other barrel and make the ducks the pure antagonizers of all this chaoticness. They're the workers of the anomaly, I guess. I think it would be really, really funny to think that a duck this evil would cause a truck to crash. But then back here, of course, we have some more little wheelbarrows and some storage for wood, because, you know, I use a lot of wood in my builds. It felt weird to not have any storage for wood at all, so I have some wood storage. And then, of course, a bursted pipe with a little bit of water kind of splattering up and flowing over. I thought this was a really neat addition. And I know a lot of the stuff for now seems like it's just kind of placed in there. But here's the thing. I work in layers. I work completely in layers. So while most people might work on a section of their base at a time or whatnot, I like to work on a huge section and put it together in layers. So I don't know if you've noticed, but first I started getting a lot of the larger buildings in. Then I started adding some of the other stuff like the fields and the paths and the smaller buildings and the smaller details and stuff. And I keep layering stuff on there to a place where I'm happy. I fill in the gaps where the gaps need to be filled. And I include stuff where I think stuff needs to be included. So while all of this has been happening, I've also been keeping in mind where I'm going to put plants. So I already know that trees are going to go in certain spots. I already know where vines and bushes are going to go. Like, obviously these aren't the final bushes. Those are just so I can kind of mark out some places. And all back here is going to be overgrown for the most part. All of this is all going to be overgrown. Some of these outer rims, all going to be overgrown. Even some of this, it's going to be overgrown. That's just how it is. And so I'm really trying to focus on truthfully layering this with as many layers as I possibly can fit. I want this to be really, really detailed, but in a way that still fits from afar. Because as you know, that this is supposed to be the main base. I know it doesn't look like that right now. I know it's a big hole in the ground right now with a bunch of machines on top. We'll get to that later. But for now, this is the viewing point. This is where I want it to be looked at. So even from this view, you see the fire, you see how this stuff goes, and everything's a little bit oversized to compensate for how far it is. I mean, I'm really trying to think about it. And even the fire from back here looks so much different than if you were looking at it straight on. Because from over here, the fire is very nice and balanced. It kind of blends in with the field. You get that there's a sense of danger coming towards you, and nothing feels really out of place. The wheat field looks like it has a good thickness all the way around, and it's looking absolutely beautiful. You don't obviously the truck unless you're over on this other side, but that's completely fine. Even that has its place, and you can see it in the distance there. Whereas if you're probably looking at it straight on, it's gonna look a little funky. That's the whole purpose. I'm working off of multiple different perspectives. It's like even here, if you look at it from straight on, pretty much, especially within the fire's case, you see this is a lot bigger. It doesn't look as balanced. It's these weird little offsets that I'm having to work with. And while I've worked with the perspective alone, I haven't had to work with it this much. And even with glass, I'm going completely out of my comfort zone. Which again, this is partially why the video took so long to get to this point in time, because I was going to originally do the chaotic factor sooner and it just didn't. Oops. But I do think for anyone struggling to build, thinking about it in layers rather than I must do this one section first, I must do this, I must do that. Definitely thinking in layers helps you slow your brain, helps you think, helps you section out stuff, and it just works. And I don't just mean like, obviously there's shapes and stuff, you layer shapes and colors, but just general, just buildings, get your large structures done, fill stuff in between. Figure out how stuff works together rather than figuring out how to fit multiple parts together. And it's going to result in a much more fluid base, if that makes sense. Because even now, I still have stuff that obviously I need to build. I still need to build the 2 docks, but I'm waiting to do that for a later day. Those I need to figure out still how I'm going to do them. And then the plants, I'm already starting to figure out how I want to do it. But honestly, I didn't know how I was going to do the plants till I got most of this laid out, and you really won't until you have some layers in. I don't know, that's just a neat little way of thinking about it, but I'm glad that we finally started getting some of the chaotic factors in. It's been super neat to see how this works, and also these poor chickens, I feel so bad for them. Look at the fire, it's coming for them. I know Solo pointed this out to me. The fire has a nice swoopy going on. It swoops back, and it's getting pulled towards the anomaly just like everything else, and I admittedly did that on accident, but I'm glad I did it, because now it seems on purpose, and it looks really nice that way. But these poor chickens look like they're gonna get crisped alive. Anyone want insta-charred chicken? I don't know. Oh, speaking of chicken though, I forgot to mention this last episode. If you want a chicken named, you better come to the stream weekend, or any of my streams. If you want a chicken named, and you want your name on a chicken, or you want to name a chicken certain name, you better show up to my streams. Because in my streams, I'm naming chickens now. If you want a chicken named after you, show up to a stream. Spend some points. Some of those little Twitch points. And you get your name on a chicken, and then you'll be forever in this world. These are chickens that Emerald aren't allowed to kill, because yeah, Emerald's not allowed to kill these ones. I don't want him to kill these ones. I don't want him to kill any of my animals really, but he does it anyway, as long as they're not in a pen. So yeah, if you want your name on a chicken that can't be killed and will forever be immortalized in my base, show up to the streams. We have a fun time. We have a stream weekend this weekend, so you better show up. Otherwise I'm gonna be super sad, because we're gonna have lots of fun. Anyway, our base has definitely suffered a tragedy today. It suffered the ultimate price. It paid its price or whatever. I don't know. It did its thing. The title. Yeah, the title. It fell at the hands of the anomaly. And chaos is starting to spread. And eventually chaos will reign across this entire world, this entire land at least. Anywhere that I touch. The land that I own. Yeah, that thing. That one. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the episode, make sure leave a comment, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Hope to see everyone at the stream weekend. And goodbye!